Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to Squared Circle Society Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
We need a new opening. We need an actual opening. It drives me insane. Good evening.
The deviant vulture skulls will get right on that, sir. Namaste.
I don't know if I give you that spot because then I'm taking the other spot for Bob's music away. So
all right, we can use some generic bullshit. I'm easy going.
Oh, damn it! I was gonna use our same song that Bob did for us. Damn. Now I feel fuck Bob then.
Fuck Bob. Wow.
If this message gets back to him, I double down. Fuck Bob.
Bob, you have 24 hours. Otherwise,
fuck Bob. I like that opening. Why don't you like the opening?
First off, it's a fucking minute long until the actual thing starts.
I like the longer intro. There's always like some last minute thing you got to grab, or
that's because you're a professional.
And the problem solved. We have our minute intro and then our actual intro. So.
Cat problem, something always goes down.
Get a helmet, sir.
But how are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Todd?
Busy.
Busy.
Not as busy as before, but still a little busy. I'm chilling, celebrating 25 years of Hell in a Cell, my favorite match of all time. Mankind and Undertaker.
Wow, you're not.
He's there that night. That's the night he wins the title, which is great. But that was the cherry on top of the sundae.
But you're not. Your favorite isn't HBK Taker because that was better.
And that's when Kane debuted. No, dude. Like, yeah, I remember where the fuck I was when I first saw that thing, and like that is ingrained in my brain.
Where were you?
I was in my buddy's house eating chips with sour cream because he ran out of dip. They were delicious. The first time he tosses over, I dropped the bowl. I just finished cleaning everything up. Motherfucker choke slam through the cage, and there goes the bowl again. I'm like, it's staying down there until it's over, dude.
I was right there.
Were you?
There you go.
I was too young to
right there.
Out, yeah. Dude, my favorite.
No pugs. Not okay.
Didn't they do a watch along of their match together?
They did. It's on WWE's YouTube page. It was the first time they reconnected in a while. First time they ever watched it together, and it's very entertaining. It's less than a half hour. Two of my fucking heroes are there just shooting the shit. And it's nice to see them years later break kayfabe and be all buddy. Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
They should have had Funk there too.
Well, I mean, they could have went to him, I think.
He would have thought the match was still going on.
Oh, they also go over like who came up with certain spots. They did leave some shit out, but you know, I think it's awesome. Check it out.
The stuff they left out was probably stuff Vince came up with because he never wants his flowers.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out. I totally spaced on it being the 25th anniversary. God damn, that is weird.
You old as fuck, dude. Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah, that's insane.
I can remember watching it on pay-per-view and just being like, holy shit. But the best moment is when he comes back on the stretcher. That was the coolest moment. Started like, no fucking way, that's done.
Dude, that JR fucking just losing his goddamn mind, making it even more impactful. Will somebody stop the damn match? Enough's enough. Oh my God, he killed him. It's fucking great, dude. Yeah.
Jim Ross was never better than he was in that match. I mean, goddamn, that was gold. But I still got to say, I favor HBK Undertaker. It's the first one.
I'm not going to argue. That match is fucking glorious and beautiful. But this one, 98 King of the Ring, way more violent, and that's what I enjoyed the most.
One's like a better match, the other's a better spectacle, I think.
And also for me, the history of Undertaker and Mankind, that whole year before, like the Boiler Room Brawl was my favorite match before that. And this just fucking, I was like, there's no way it's going to get cooler than this because they brought ECW shit to WWE. And then they went and did Hell in a Cell. And I was like,
we're going to do another great Hell in a Cell. I thought Usos New Day was really good, but we haven't like.
It's still not on the level of. I mean, it's hard to get to those top two.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of lost its thunder. The Hell in a Cell, like it used to be like the ultimate end of a
They
feud.
killed it.
But with the pay-per-view, they did.
I was gonna say, and the Red Cell, which was fucking dumb.
Didn't they go back though? At least
they did.
Yeah. At WrestleMania, they had Edge and Finn Balor. And it was good, and fucking Finn got like 14 staples or whatever, but it never reached the peak of.
They need to retire it. So you need to throw 2 men in there. I'm sorry, Fergal. He's a little guy.
He's
well,
great.
there was also an injury in that match, so in fairness, it didn't go exactly how it was supposed to.
Fuck your fairness. I go off what I just saw.
I'm with Todd on this. Like I understand, but no, it should be a spectacle. It should be a big blood feud.
Factors nothing into it.
Oh, it needs blood. Hell in a Cell.
And that's why I don't think there won't ever be another great Hell in a Cell until we get color again. If Cody can figure it out, he'll make it.
You just go the hard way from now on. Hey, it happened.
I mean, hey, Roman, Cody, maybe that could make sense. I'm hoping they keep that going till Mania, which I think they will. A lot of people think SummerSlam. I'm not seeing that. I actually think
here's the thing: the new owners. Do you think they care about blood? They got blood on their other fucking.
I don't see why they would.
I think it's all on the like USA or the networks they're on now. Like if they come off there and they plan on doing it, because it wasn't the lower rating a network request. If my brain still works,
I believe so.
I know 3 hours was, but I think it was both. Or
it was the 3 hours was a network thing for. I thought that was a WWE thing for buying advertisement.
It's mutual, but it's because of the network.
Because I hate the 3 hour thing. 2 hours is fucking plenty.
There's a lot of people internally who don't want the 3 hours either, but then they lose that added revenue.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not going to change anytime soon. So that one I think is just done. But I agree, 2 hours is plenty. And there's so much wrestling anyways. It's just like,
hey, Dan, how long do your Hatmans averagely run, by the
way? They're about Raw length, but we're doing it a little bit different.
Remember Will Sasso giving fucking Bret Hart shit? This isn't a 3 hour show, Bret, on Matt TV on their arm wrestling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sasso's a fucking genius. How did he not have a big movie career?
I don't know his work ethic. Like his funny being effortless is there, but like I don't know his work ethic, how funny he is to get, or how cool he is to get along with. His character in Shameless though has one of the hardest lines I've ever fucking heard. I can't even say it here.
Amy Schumer had a movie career though. You know what I mean? He didn't really.
Yeah, but
he was in.
You can see how hard she works. I can't see how hard Will Sasso works.
And here's the thing, they only let one funny fat guy at a time. We might have had him at the time.
Yeah. Shout out to Winter.
Maybe they were just saving his life. They didn't want him to OD like the rest.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Out.
The
Winter Steel, Billy Bean, and Punisher Batman fan. What up?
Yes. The one funny fat guy rule is probably true. I feel like.
No, we'll come into the one guy rule a bit later in this episode too.
Yeah. So
not
yes,
fat.
we're doubling up our Doink the Clown episode with Junkyard Dog. So doing it a little bit different this week.
And we should throw out there, if you're here Wednesday and you're wondering where the horror is, well, we got a special today and or I'll be back soon. What do we got tomorrow, Dan, if they're tuning in for?
Yeah, tomorrow we have our 4th of July Severance sale hangout. We'll do Full Moon as well, which starts tonight.
And you will legitimately get to see Todd cry if they are sold out of the Joe Spinell doll.
I'm gonna buy as many as
limit possible. One per customer, Dan. They've already made that. Same with we'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow before we go.
It's going to sell out in 5 minutes, and you're going to see Todd throw a fit on air.
You're just gonna see me stop talking to Dan and do it.
Imagine if I get one and you don't.
Well, first, Dan, you're not gonna drop $350, so I'm not even worried about that. And you
What?
can say, "Oh, I'll do it just
whoa, slow this down. It's $350
for everything."
Oh,
You can't buy the doll separately. The cheapest package the doll
Yeah, you
is
cheap
in
fuck.
is the $89 Maniac one. Or sorry, last horror movie that has that, the pin, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, so $89 I can get one.
Well, that's
Not
fine.
doing $350, but
Well, that's fine. You can get the little one without all the cool shit.
Side
I'm going to be
question.
reading my nightmare. Well, we'll talk about all this tomorrow, but go ahead.
But
Yeah.
Side question for the if you buy one of the 89 packages, can you still buy a 350 package and then get two?
That is a good question.
you'd have to.
Well, no, they can cancel your order. No, I actually think the only thing limited to one is Last Horror Show, but I'll find all this out and we'll talk about it tomorrow
All right.
Cool.
before we go live.
So a lot of potential frustration and anger tomorrow on Flesh Wound Horror Live. We'll see. Vinegar Syndrome too, right? No. That's July 1st, right? Okay. So,
Yeah, and it's not, and it's just the new title. Really, it's nothing, no sale or anything.
okay.
It's just the monthly drop of the new titles, and people are see, we're saving the wrong show. See,
Yeah.
Wrong show. You got your tease for tomorrow.
there you
Let's
go,
talk-
sneak peek.
Let's talk about Dark Side of the Ring, the first episode. What happened to Doink the Clown? So
Which one?
the definitive Maniac Matt Bourne. The definitive Doink. It always bugged me. I could always tell the difference, even back in the day.
I think that's going to depend on which version of the character. Like, yes, I agree that's the definitive and the best version, but there's a whole generation like that second Doink, or would it technically be third? I can't remember. I would, but
yes, but this clown was kind of a piece of shit in real life. I mean, I guess if we got to be honest about it,
aren't they?
I was a big fan. Well, still am big fan of Matt Bourne and the Doink run and everything else he did. But not the most flattering episode. Unfortunately, Doink never beat his demons, but
he did beat his wives.
well, yeah.
Really beat.
Unfortunately,
Matt
he
was
did
the
do that.
only Doink.
Yeah, he was.
He was the 100% the definitive one.
He is somebody like back when I was going to different shows and training. I heard a lot of stories about him, particularly like the Portland area and just how good he was. And like a lot of guys that were around at that time that would just say like, yeah, Matt was so good and he could have been huge. And he's one of those ones. The demons unfortunately got him. If you remember back when Monday Night Raw first debuted, he was kind of a big fixture right at the very beginning. If you get that Raw season 1 and 2 set, which I wish they had just done more of those. I thought that was a great set. Doink's all over it. So not really around that long.
You can watch them all on Peacock.
Yeah.
Well, some of them.
Considering, the name value, like really wasn't around that long. Matt Bourne, at least in WWE, but certainly made his mark. And I always wondered, I was like, man, wouldn't it have been cool if that gimmick kind of came along a little bit later and they let him go a little darker with it? Because he played it really well, even on the indies. I mean, say what you will, like he kind of almost pulled a Sting and evolved that character.
Born Again?
Bit. Yeah,
that's the one I want to talk about the most. There was so much potential left on the floor, but because you couldn't use the name after a certain point, but you can still be a clown, like the Born Again, and like mix it with like Jesus stuff or something. Just be a real fucking weirdo. Imagine a clown coming out with like a crown of thorns and just like not like as supernatural as the Fiend,
Brood,
but like crazy.
You got the Brood coming up, and then it's just like him on the cross.
Shit like that. That would rock. I don't
There
think
you
that would
go.
fucking go over very well. Didn't Malachi Black do that in NXT, or was it he rose somehow? Either way. You know what? They did do something like that with Taker and Stone Cold. So
Yeah, don't you
maybe they
remember
would have.
they
Yeah.
tried to sacrifice Stephanie, and so they
And
kinda-
Kurt Angle was so appalled and he quit WWE that. Oh wait, never
That's
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like no. Oh, then I got your joke.
Yeah.
But you're old. I was just checking. Yeah.
The fucking sorry. No, I was gonna do an old man rant. Stop it.
Get off my lawn.
My favorite crucifix wrestling story, that's a weird thing to say, was Blue Meanie and Stevie Richards, who I think are both Catholic, and when they were doing that angle with Sandman on the cross, just Meanie like leans over, or I think it was Meanie to Stevie Richards. Man, this is fucked up.
That's the fun of wrestling. But yeah, Matt Bourne,
yeah,
fucking super talented wrestler, and that's unfortunate when demons can get a hold of you, which we will talk about later. Also, just addiction's a motherfucker, and like this dude could have been way bigger than what he was if he just acted right. But cocaine's a hell of a drug. And whatever else he did.
Straight smoking crack.
That's
What out of fucking they don't know what that shit is.
Dude, you got crack eyes. We know what you're doing.
My favorite story from this episode was that fan that attacked Jim Duggan, and that was during the Rat Pack run, which a lot of people forget about that. But you had Ted DiBiase, Matt Bourne, and Jim Duggan at the time in the Rat Pack, and the fan just attacked Duggan, and Matt Bourne comes running and kicks him so fucking hard he knocks his eyeball out of its socket.
Scott Hall did the same thing for Kevin Nash, except the guy got away a little bit. Like there is a unity in the wrestling locker room. Don't fuck with them. And,
that is true, but like, goddamn, that's some power behind that boot to knock the eyeball out. And of course, Bill Watts fires Matt Bourne, and that's kind of unfortunately a theme in his career. Just you get over, but then you kind of fuck it up. And they do talk about this, and I'm glad they go over it because people tend to forget that he had that first run in WWF from 85 to 86, and short-lived, but there was that WrestleMania match with Ricky Steamboat that people forget happened at WrestleMania 1.
It doesn't help that on the first home video release, that was one of the missing matches. Because if you remember the first home video release, it was cut down to 2 hours, and there was quite a few matches missing. That was one of them. So
I don't know if I got the first home video released. I remember the one with the brown box around it.
The brown box, okay.
Yeah, was that the first one? I don't think it was.
The first one was a black box Coliseum tape.
Yeah, I didn't have.
It was like a big Disney clamshell.
Definitely didn't have that. Damn it.
I probably had like every release of that at one point. I liquidated a massive wrestling library. It's the one physical thing that I did kind of have to get rid of. And I'm pretty sure I had every version of the first, I don't know, X amount of WrestleManias. And yeah, I forgot that they did take that one off. But yeah, that's still a part of his legacy that doesn't get talked about a lot. First WrestleMania, that's pretty awesome. But of course, once again, he was an out of control guy. I think we've all known that guy, even just in wrestling, where it's just like, you're just too fucking crazy. A Matt Bourne would have never have lasted today. He's just too much.
He could have been an XPW and it would have been fine. They're not pussies there.
Hey, we already got a clown or two.
I was gonna say Rob Black would have just been like, now fuck off before he kicks the other eye out.
Yeah, like a real G.
When did you guys first take note of Matt Bourne? Todd, I know you go far enough back that you would have seen him before Doink, but Was he on your radar before the Doink run?
He was a good worker, but he wasn't anyone I really, to me, he was just a guy for other guys to beat. He was an enhancement talent, a glorified. He wasn't, but I mean, that's the way he came off, like with lack of gimmick in that era that he was. It just, at least in the WWE run, because that's the only time I really know him before the Doink run. Yeah, it never did anything for me. I mean, he was a good worker, but even, as a kid, it didn't really matter.
Well, as a kid, you're going to be drawn to the bright colors because I didn't know or give a shit about him before Doink. And even like years after, I never looked up who he was. I didn't care. I was just watching the fucking product. I was like, this guy is cool.
I was in high school when Doink debuted. I didn't give a shit about the colors.
No, okay. Well, you were out of the age realm.
But I did like the fucked up clown.
Yeah.
There must have been something about B. Brian Blair back in the day because even Doink wanted to like kill him. Like, I mean, like he tells that story about like attacking Brian Blair. Something tells me because wrestling fight stories change. I get a vibe Doink probably kicked the living shit out of Brian Blair, and that story's been altered a little bit.
I like the way he tells it now. It's very Homer Simpson. Like nobody ever some people never learn when he gets kicked out of the bar and then he comes right back.
And bites a chunk of his lip off, apparently.
Dude, going for the eye. I choose to believe this version. You couldn't stop him. He's like a Terminator.
Terminator clown.
See? Could have did that with Born Again.
Wasn't that the Simpsons World gimmick where the robots come alive?
If
they don't do that one year at Halloween Horror Nights, they are just dumb.
You know what? You can say they're dumb because they should have been doing this already. As soon as you get the Simpsons, your Halloween, you have Treehouse of Terror or horror.
No, I'm not even talking that. I want the Westworld one where everything comes alive and tries to kill you.
Yeah, well, should be included. But yes, I agree with you fucking heartedly. The whole bottom lot should be all Simpsons horror themed. But
Disney's like, haha, no.
Yeah. As soon as that fucking licensing runs out, it's coming here.
I like how they didn't try and break up fights back then. It was just Ivan Koloff just like kicked him. It was like, no eyes.
Yeah.
Well, he just did his fucking lip.
That's a man shit. You gotta let it settle, and then you shake hands after, usually, if you're not a little bitch about it. But
yeah.
Ivan's cool.
Not these pussies today.
Yeah. Undertaker's right.
Pick up your lip and stop being a pussy.
Obviously not talking about the XPW locker
room,
but nobody's gotten their lip bit off yet. We'll see.
At least up top.
Damn. So they kind of go over his various gimmicks, Lumberjack, Big Josh, and some of the other stuff that he did, and taking that WWE deal in 92, debuts as Doink the Clown in January 93. They kind of run down the whole Doink run, the WrestleMania 9 match with Crush. And apparently Bam Bam Bigelow, one of my all-time favorites, ratted him out for his drug use because he didn't like jobbing to a clown.
Crackhead clown.
Man, that's a little bit of a bitch move, but I still love Bam Bam.
Oh god, a clown crackhead gimmick would have been awesome.
It would have been. I don't know if you read the internet.
Look what Vince did with Jake Roberts in the middle of like his addiction. With Jerry Lawler pouring the booze down him. I could like, can you imagine like just WrestleMania 9 and you've got like Doink coming out like just like snorting crack off of like that hammer or something? That would have been awesome.
Big old mallet. A big mallet?
Oh, okay, a mallet. There we go. Yeah. Okay. It's like, what the fuck? Okay.
Dude, all of his balloons pop and out comes white dust.
That's how he hulks up.
What, you know what?
Right. Yeah. Shit, I shouldn't have said that out here. He pulls it out of his fucking back pocket. You know what I mean?
How do you get the powder?
I gotta have a talk to this motherfucker.
So Bam Bam kind
I
of
know exactly how to do it, Todd.
So Bam Bam fucks him again. His wife leaves him for, you know, the obvious domestic violence. And
I like the second one where he's like, yeah, I get it.
the day after he was fired, he did a coke binge and stayed up for 8 days straight. So that was the story that I think she told. And of course, then they kind of run down the Doink, other Doink, Steve Kern, Ray
They
Apollo.
didn't really do too much of that. I understand it's not their episode, but it was about Doink. We could have spent a little more time fleshing out their bullshit, even though they didn't really, didn't have that much time as Doink either.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, in spite of not being allowed to do it, we had a million Doinks on the fucking circuit anyways. So, yeah, that was some that they didn't even try to like look at all. Like it'd be like some like fat fuck that they were trying to like pass off as.
I want the Orgasmo version of the stunt cock where it's the black guy underneath all the pain. Like, you don't see a problem with this? No.
So, it was so funny sometimes. Like I'd see like a dude that was obviously like in his early 20s and had a physique that he obviously was not Doink. And like you'd have kids like, were you like the WWF Doink? It's like the one and only. I still remember that, and it was so funny.
And he looked like your average indie wrestler today.
Basically, yes. And sometimes they would just do like, I'm like, man, at least try and keep the old move set. Like you're doing a fucking moonsault. Like that's not what Doink did. I don't know. I saw some really shitty Doinks over the years.
Ben Grimm, howdy. Porn parody version would be Boink the Clown.
Hey, you got Dink. So you get
Dan
Bridget.
loves some Dink.
Bridget the midget is Dink. There you go.
You're tempting me. We're about to cross some territory. I don't know if you want to get into Dan.
And then Dan has to go and gender swap.
Wait a minute.
You're against that.
Wham, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am, Bigelow. There you go. A little long.
You know what? I'm not against that. That'd have been hilarious if he comes out and all fucking glammed out. Damn. Especially in today. They, them, bam, bam. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. But I kind of like that. I agree. Like, I think you could have, like, kind of followed that to the end as far as the WWF versions of Doink.
Well, I mean, they called it the Doink the Clown episode. You know what I mean? It really is, Matt's episode, which is totally cool. But yeah, I do agree with Plugs, like a little bit more, even if they just, 15 minutes at the end, just so. But yeah, that
they just yada it.
But honestly, other than because we didn't mention the Brawler or the Eugene playing him and all the other people, 1,000 people.
That's right, Eugene.
But he actually like fit the outfit though, at least.
Yes.
No, didn't even have
I
to
don't mind the Brawler as Doink.
But
yeah, I don't know. It was just never the same. Like Matt Bourne really played it well. After that, he kind of disappears for a while, moves to the middle of nowhere, and meets his second wife. And that's where they tell this. Is
that the third wife?
I think it might have been the third because
I think it's the third. Because that
one they just didn't talk about really.
This is the same thing I feel about Patton Oswalt. This is getting into some territory. We're like, well, I don't have to. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. That's I'm Patton Oswalt.
You got one
allegedly.
I didn't say anything, so that's why I didn't have to say allegedly, Todd. But like, this is the theory. It's the same thing.
Damn. Well, he meets his next wife and kind of starts to basically fuck up again. The story about the wife's ex-boyfriend, like confronting her in a bar, and then he beats the fucking shit out of the guy, and then fights the cops. Rips the fucking sink out of his cell and throws it. Like holy shit. Like, he might be the ultimate. Nah, I can't say that. I guess the Ultimate Warrior might have been the ultimate crackhead, but he's like top 5 like wrestling crackheads, I think.
Dude, he's someone you really shouldn't piss off, especially if he's on one. And ripping out a fucking sink, just fucking nuts. Yeah.
I think his prime drug use is pre-crack boom.
Like when it was still okay?
No.
Oh, gotcha. Before the actual boom of the bad shit.
Yeah, before crack. So,
yeah.
Just for the crackheads out there, we don't want to. We'll talk about that.
Line the crackheads.
Crack history with Todd Loya.
Well,
hey, Punisher Batman fans with me. I'm Patton Oswalt. Attaboy.
If we're shooting, it was a black drug day.
Oh, he wouldn't have got it anyway. Yeah, we don't know who he was hanging out with.
Unless JYD was like, hey, grab them cakes. It's horrible, Pugs. How dare you?
I apologize.
So he kind of is busy doing all the domestic violence and cop fighting, but he does return, brings a version of the Doink character to ECW briefly. They talk about the Born Again gimmick.
So much money left on the table with that, man.
Oh yeah, no. He wasn't just a good worker. He could play a really compelling character. I mean, who knows? If he was somebody that didn't have his demons and he came along today, I could have seen him being a Bray Wyatt. I think
like the equivalent of one.
Yeah, in that sort of spot.
So it's not on TV already, too?
That hurts, Todd.
Fucking up his choices. I think he already was.
Yeah, definitely a lot of issues. They talk about the legal papers being sent to Doink and to Matt Bourne, I should say, and not being able to use the gimmick. So they kind of explain all that, which I always thought was ironic, being that there's been 1,000 Doinks.
That big, yeah, but Vince owns it, and like he actually played it for me. You can't do that. But like Vince not giving him his residuals is fucked up, and like he went from being a millionaire to having jack shit. That sucks. I do like the fact that he's had so much money that he bought a tub that had gold engraved Doink on it. Like, that's baller shit.
I don't think he was a millionaire. He bought like $1 million house. So it's like, because you're not talking, he wasn't in WWF very long. So
but this is also money back in the day. That goes way further than it does today. So he might have been an equivalent to, and he was well off. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they obviously, being crackhead, wife beater, not the best with money, generally.
Drug addict, sir.
Drug addict.
It gets expensive. Even crack.
They talk about
save crackhead for the next episode.
They talk about his other kids, trying to be a good dad, but obviously really having bad demons, and that leads to him beating up his wife and putting her in the hospital. That was like the really bad one.
Was this the one where she was holding the kid and she like fell out of the arms?
I believe so. This is where
that's fucking terrible. Like I joke about a lot of things, and I would joke about this, but like that's truly shithead move. Like I know you're mad and you're not in your right headspace, but acknowledge the fucking baby. Don't touch the fucking kid. Put it down so I can fuck you up.
They give him like a Harley Quinn ballet, and she's like starts coming out with black eyes, and that's like a whole storyline. I know I'm a terrible person, but
it was a chocolate pie to the face. That's why your eyes are black.
She fell, and he like honks the horn at people. Would have been a big heel run, but I mean, again, not a good guy. You got to call it like it is. I never realized. I mean, I knew that drugs got him in the end. Kind of the similar story for like 99% of these episodes.
Drugs.
But I have to say this was one of those ones like you don't like him very much after this episode. Like
really, I actually felt extra bad for him before. Like I thought he was a big piece of shit before I got.
Dan has no sympathy for addicts.
Oh,
you haven't discovered. Shit.
It depends. Not all addicts beat their wives. So,
well, we're not talking about porn addiction here, Dan. That's why you're like, hold on. No, I did. I really thought more of him after watching this, just because, like, oh, that sucks how much he was struggling. I don't forget. Like, I acknowledge the shitty things he did, and like, yeah, he's kind of a shitty person, but I feel for him. Like, that's terrible. Addiction's a motherfucker.
Yeah, and
Dancing.
similar story.
No, fuck that piece of shit.
I like the little bit of indie. I like the bit of indie footage they had of him, like really right at the very, very end, just kind of doing a.
Dude, don't you wish he wouldn't have pussed out and went after Hacksaw?
That was a bizarre match because, yeah, I don't quite know why he left. Honestly, I think he would have.
He didn't want to get his fucking ass kicked. That's he's all talk at that point.
I think he would have beat the shit out of Jim Duggan, and I'm not like.
I don't know, because I do think Jim Duggan, if mad enough, like he's not. It's Jim Duggan.
I'm not saying Jim Duggan's a pussy.
You just said Jim Duggan's a pussy.
I think that
you're like that fucking drug addict clown has no chance against Hacks on his 2x4.
He might have just like smashed him with the 2x4. I don't know. That would have been wild to actually see Hacksaw just shoot on somebody with the fucking 2x4. It's like, man, those shots are stiff, and he's
fucking asking for it, Hacksaw. Fucking heyo his head off.
Oh, and then just like you see the like a fucking like it's like Gallagher all of a sudden. Like, whoa. Like you get this kid in the front row just gets splattered by
I got his fucking eye.
But yeah, I don't know. This episode was a little weird in the sense that, I mean, I can't say like Doink was a childhood hero per se, because again, the run was really short. But I always liked the character, and this was one of those episodes where I was like, I don't know. Maybe I don't have as much sympathy. I don't know. In this case, I didn't. Sometimes
exact opposite for me. Yeah. I'm still upset we never got a proper. Excuse me, Taker and fucking Doink feud. That'd been awesome. A proper one.
You might have at that point. I mean, again, that was really more on him. But so we didn't touch on this because this episode was really good, and it has the murder conspiracy because his girlfriend at the end of his life, the daughter thinks she let him die. Which, if nothing else, she's a fucking idiot because. Like she just went back to bed when he's like foaming, like, and it's like, well,
she could have been on drugs herself. Not to defend this manslaughterous, potentially, allegedly person, Patton Oswalding, Matt Bourne, but
allegedly.
No, like it. Let's say you wake up half asleep, not really realizing it. Like I could understand to a degree, not knowing where you are, but. Yeah, you're still kind of dumb. You sense something was off to begin with, like he's just snoring.
Yeah, but if you're fucked up too, you come out. Oh, this motherfucker.
That's the thing that she's leaving out of the fucking report. You're probably on day 2 of your crack addict yourself.
She comes out. Oh damn, this motherfucker's fucked up. I'm going back to sleep.
Like, I don't want to get hit. I'm not
like, I do not want to clean this bullshit up again. Isn't that what she said in this shit too? Basically.
Oh yeah, she wiped the fucking snot juice or whatever he had on his mouth and went back to bed. She probably, you know what?
Honestly, it's probably just 2 addicts, probably just an occurrence. It wasn't, it was what it was. I mean, either way, either she was like, yeah, fuck this motherfucker.
Jams the fucking needle in him and just revives him and he's boom. I don't know. This one, like I said, this is still a sad episode. I will say I felt terrible for his daughter because and she had his like action figure there at the end and all of that. But
I did not like her tattoo. She should have Matt on one side and Doink on the other. But whatever.
Just fuck her, stupid tattoo. I don't care. No, I felt bad for her, but she seems to be a success story. So We talked about that in previous episodes, breaking the cycle and everything. So at least she didn't kind of fall into his bullshit
Yet.
Well, hopefully.
I don't want to put that out on her. She's been through enough.
Yeah. And yeah, Mick Foley said it best. He gave more to wrestling than the business gave back to him. He was just one of those guys. And yeah, you can see the Sean Oliver shoot interview with him, which is really good. And you get that same sense of his personality, because he also had that thing where he was talking about how like Kevin Nash shouldn't have been allowed in the business for using the F word, fake, when it came to pro wrestling. And it was like, well, after the point where it's like, okay, guys, the secret has been exposed. I mean,
one, wrestling isn't fake; it's predetermined.
That is true. That is true. I never used the word either, but
you just defended the use of it.
Well, it's Kevin Nash.
I don't care. Kevin Nash. Sorry, Super Shredder can't be wrong.
Hey, the figure right here, dude.
Super Shredder.
Whatever the name of his Magic Mike character was, can't do wrong.
Is he in the sequels?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any.
Okay.
Didn't you have to go see it with your wife, if I remember right? No, that's 50 Shades you had to go see. Okay.
She was disappointed too. There's no secretary.
I do remember watching that 50 Shades of Grey for the first time, and all it was like fucking 5 whacks, and then she gets her feelings hurt. I'm like, that's it? This is bullshit. I still want to go back and finish them, but
there's like a director's cut where he puts like fish hook in her vagina. And...
Now we're talking. Have you seen Hellraiser?
Wouldn't that have been funny if that movie were actually realistic and they just went like really like fucking weird?
Fuck
like,
yeah, Cast Army Hammer.
He just like flips over the table and starts diddling her with the table leg. Like it just goes like really. I don't know. I'm gonna say 9.5 weeks. Much better movie. So there's 50 Shades ain't shit.
Dude, for some reason I went to 9 months with Hugh Grant. I was like, you what? You want to do that to a pregnant
9 months?
Yeah.
With Julianne Moore?
Is that Julianne Moore? It's Hugh Grant's in it. I don't remember who else.
That's the one he got. That's the one he got the blowjob for when he was promoting that when that came out. And that's how you avoid 9 months, gentlemen.
God,
that's the best marketing he's ever done.
if you're a cop, of course I was 95, I think, but you got to think it's like, so how much is this worth to you to keep it quiet?
Like, if you're a decent cop, but also if you're a decent cop, you're like, hey, Hugh, fucking, you're a diplomatic community. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, do I gotta go and start?
He's just like, I had to break something to you, man.
You know what's funny? The cop's about to let him go, thinking he's Pierce Brosnan, and he's like, Hugh Grant. Oh, you're getting your fucking ticket.
He goes home and he's like got his golden eye poster. Real proud. Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah.
All right, so that's we finished Doink. We're on to British actors getting their dicks.
Too bad
sucked.
Divine didn't get to finish you, but whatever.
Oh, that was her fucking name.
Didn't she do a porn too, Dan? I remember Divine Brown.
Yes, I think so. That was one of those things where I was like, really, Hugh? Like, it wasn't like top shelf, like from what I remember anyways. Maybe I'm not remembering right.
You were not incorrect.
Okay, yeah, it was
better than Eddie Murphy's though.
But it's kind of like Schwarzenegger and the Maid.
Appendage. Oh,
that
was just a convenient hole. like, I'm already there. You're paying it. While you're cleaning that, come polish this.
I just love the way that story is told, where like Maria is just like sitting and like just, I guess, looking at the kid, that random kid that's hanging around. It's like, and he's like, "Is that your son?" He's like, yes. It's like, I guess she finally figured it out, sort of.
I just imagine him processing like the Terminator scene. Fuck you, asshole. The red and the old computer. Yes.
I can't. It was so fucking obvious too, which I just thought was hilarious.
Young Hercules over here, yeah. Chip off the old block, right?
She's just looking out the window, and he's just like pumping irons, like when I boast. God damn it, Arnold! All right,
well, there we go.
But you're still at 8. All pro sports are predetermined.
This is true. This is true. Before we go on, because it's, I guess, kind of sort of relevant to SCS. Who do you got? Elon Musk or Lizard Man? Zuckerberg.
What do you mean, like in the fight?
No, they're doing a professional MMA fight. It looks like it might actually.
They are?
happen.
Yeah, it's like one's training. They've talked to Dana White. It's like we're gonna have to put our money in for that $100 price tag, though.
I mean, fuck MMA. I want throw a knife in there and let's go to town. Just one. Whoever gets it wins.
Who are you pulling for? Who do you think will win?
I would probably have to go with Musk.
Musk is a lot bigger, but he's older.
The Macy Gray got me.
Does Brian Brown look like Macy Gray's brother?
I always said back in the day, Macy Gray and Biz Marquis were like the perfect power couple. They should have been together.
That would have been amazing, dude.
Sorry.
But all right, so Musk, much bigger, way bigger, taller. He's like 6'2". Zuckerberg's a little guy, but he's also older. He's 51. Zuck's 39. So, and Zuckerberg has been training for a while. Like, I guess that's his thing. He has trained. So.
Ben Grimm, Zuckerberg won a judo tournament recently. He also has a lot of he has more pent up nerd rage in him. But no, I don't know. I just think like who's more of a like manlier individual, I would still go Musk.
Musk, yeah, sure, but I don't know.
Well, Dan, aren't you against judo? Don't you talk shit on that shit?
I don't talk shit on judo. When did I talk shit on judo?
Yeah.
Didn't you say it's like just throwing or some bullshit? I remember Todd.
I don't know who you talk to.
It's on one of these fucking episodes, dude.
You go find that clip. I never talk shit on judo. Judo's that's something I've considered doing before, just for fun.
Which did he talk shit on?
I know what you're talking about. I said and I don't think it was on air. I think I just had a conversation. I said I was thinking about doing judo just for workout purposes because, not taking head blows.
No, you were maligning judo people. Like, that ain't shit. Yeah.
I did not. You're just trying to get my ass kicked. Who's
No. Because I was fucking floored when you said that shit back then. Because judo's fucking rad, dude. Like, you can protect yourself hardcore.
So you can't. Yeah, right there. There we go.
Judo chop. Cable channel 11. Zuck seems more like the bitch.
He is, but I don't think he feels anything.
He is a school shooter that didn't shoot up a school. So
I write this time down now. 49 minutes.
Was that not loud? I'm sorry.
I have a little note section now just in case.
Just how many that he's accused of murder on this live stream.
Okay, 49 to 30, 49 33.
I don't know. Like, I'd like to see Musk beat the shit out of him. Zuckerberg's just not likable. And
to finish my thought, yeah, it was like Musk seems like a funny bully. So, like, I will lean towards him. I do think he'll beat him, but who knows? I didn't think this was real at all.
I hope he goes full old school WWF, and Elon Musk comes out. And he's got like the fucking Rick Rude tights with Zuckerberg's wife on the crotch.
Got it. Ben has our backs.
What is he saying? Ben Grimm. He said slap fighting is bullshit, and that's why he said he could
that
take on
is
anyone
not
slapping.
Lies.
That's one of them. That's Dan who said that. And Hardcore Hillbilly has been generous and kind to not slap the shit out of you.
Ben is a liar. I'm
going to promote it for the next show. So, Dan, if you don't do it, you look like a bitch.
That's fucked up. I
More than
don't have
usual.
any anger to slap anybody.
You don't need to be mad.
What if I hurt
What
somebody?
if there's a
and then they
prize
can't
at the
work?
end of this thing?
Damn, that's fucked up.
I don't know. I'm thinking.
I do remember you talking shit about judo, though, Dan. This is not something I'm making up.
I never did. Why
There was
would I?
some type of fucking martial arts
Yeah, I
that
can't
You
remember what it
might.
was.
All right, you might be right, but it wasn't judo.
Okay, but it was whatever.
And
So
I'm
you know what I'm
trying-
talking about? Which fucking form is it? Because you were all like, "Nah, I'm not. It ain't shit." Blah blah blah.
I
There
think
is-
that's when he told us he wanted to do judo to train. Then we laughed at him.
It might have been Aikido.
The diet?
No,
I know.
He's a keto Guido.
and it's not that it's bullshit, but it's not. And even you can listen to like professional fighting podcasts say it's like it's not. And somebody else could break it down better than me, but it's not like a traditional martial arts, and it's not the first thing you want to learn for a fight. I'm not saying Steven Seagal can't legitimately beat the shit out of somebody even now.
I don't think he could ever legitimately beat the shit out of anyone, Dan.
He could just run from someone funnily.
With
I want to see him and Phoebe from Friends in a fucking race.
the lane dancing in the back.
Yeah.
I pitched this. I was just on Piz's live stream the other day, and Behind the Bastards, it's a podcast, audio podcast, but it's on YouTube. Listen to the 2-part Steven Seagal episode. It is fucking hilarious. You need to check it out.
Speaking of other martial arts, I've been really obsessed with Glory Kickboxing and Bare Knuckle Fight Club on YouTube. Check it out if you can. It's fucking great.
There you go. Another one that's not bullshit martial arts.
Only because
even
we
Clifford.
can like hit them up and get them to come do it. They're not hard to get like a McGregor or someone. We can get some of those fuckers.
Yeah, see, Cliff Booth puts it well. Aikido, a bunch of cool wrist locks, but it lacks practicality. There you go. He put it better than I could have. It's yeah.
Cliff fucking Booth, dude.
Right.
But no, I love judo. Ronda fucking Rousey's a great
That didn't stop you from talking shit that one day, Dan. And it floored me.
lying. I'm waiting.
Lying.
There's
You're fucking
somebody
bullshit,
that
dude.
must be an XPW that's like a judo person.
Dan
That you're
thinks
trying
like
to
working
flare
it.
up.
I'm not trying to start shit and have you get your ass
Dan,
kicked. We're already working on that with Hardcore Hillbilly.
Yeah, and if we could take it up the ladder too, Dan, we could
We
tell him
have
off.
Kruger. Like it'll just happen.
I was just gonna tell Butcher he voted for the wrong guy.
There we go. You know what this motherfucker did?
I mean, let's be honest.
And then he
gonna-
stuffed ballots too.
Damn. Damn, Todd.
Yeah.
Damn.
And said he's gonna break Jasmine's world record next.
What the fuck, Todd?
All right. Who that
Look.
think they gonna beat dog? The dog.
All right.
So, Junkyard Dog, who was a good husband, at least. So, there's that. This one's a little bit
Was he,
different.
though? He
Well,
wasn't that shitty.
Yeah.
He was a good father.
For the
Right.
80s crackheads, he was doing pretty good.
I didn't take into account inflation. I'm sorry.
This episode was really interesting because I always found it
You know what?
odd.
Did we mention the cause of death on Matt?
I don't
You
know if we
said
specifically did.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Well, no, it was oxys and morphine.
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember them saying morphine. Shit.
Well,
That one I had
supposedly
to look that one up to.
Oh, okay.
took it off the girlfriend's mom.
Yeah, she was on hospice, and there's
Yeah,
some fucking
that's-
strong ass drugs because
Yeah.
Kind of another shitty thing, but
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog-
Unless they didn't touch it. What if that was just he was done?
What do you mean? The mom was on hospice.
No, but he took those drugs on purpose. Like the amount he took.
Oh, gotcha.
Like they never even brought up the possibility he could have just decided I'm done. I mean, the average person drinking a bottle of pills basically isn't like You know,
But we also didn't know what his regular intake,
like what
is,
his
'cause
tolerance was.
you can build up some shit, and
Well,
like, I'm good, and
apparently he was wrong then.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He should probably know a little better. I don't know. It's curious. We'll go with that. Now, I'm sorry, Dan.
This is why his daughter is like, well, I think got away with murder.
So Junkyard Dog. One thing that I thought was really interesting about this episode, well, just interesting in general, was the fact that he was friends with Bill Watts, because you can go back and listen to any number of shoot interviews. Bill Watts was allegedly, by many different wrestlers and people that were in his sphere, was a hardcore racist.
It was addressed on the show. You know what his favorite color is? Green.
Yes.
Fucking homeboy brought in money. He can look the other way. I don't care if we can't drink out of the same fucking water fountain. You make me money. Let's go.
Also tried to push him though too.
Yeah.
Was always an advocate for him, which was
because he was making him green.
But he wasn't yet. He chose to push.
He saw
him
something
to
there though,
spot.
because he connected to the crowd. I agree with this wholeheartedly. You don't have to be an amazing fucking in-ring performer, because I just recently realized this about myself. I like in-ring work plays a factor, but I don't really care about that. I like the presentation and characters and like how I feel. The big villain and superhero aspect of wrestling is what draws me in the most. So in-ring work, although important for some of us fans, not the main issue. And then he connected to the crowd, which is very, very important.
And you can't teach that. That's just, I mean, you can teach little things, but you either have that or you don't.
They taught Roman.
See, he always had it. They never let it come out.
Yeah.
They were
I fucking hated that dude. Now, I got like 3 shirts. I'm pointing my finger every time this fucker comes out. I'm like, this song's rules. I'm all about the bloodline.
They were trying to make him something very specific. That was the problem with him, that he was never that guy. So yeah, no, he obviously always had it. They just, imagine if it just like, well, Junkyard, we're gonna like actually put you in like a ballerina outfit and you're gonna team up with Adrian Adonis. Like, probably wouldn't have worked.
Well, some of us would be interested.
But yeah, so this one obviously really puts over just how huge he was. I mean, he was as over as you could get.
Black Hogan.
Yeah, he was. And he was really, they kind of downplayed.
Ironic there. What? No, we'll let it go.
They downplay his WWF run. Now, obviously, he never achieved that main event status. But
real quick, when they were interviewing Coco Beware, I honestly thought it was old footage of Gary Coleman for a second.
I thought it was the third guy from Men on a Mission. What's the other one? Mo. Yeah, it was Mo. Well, the one who wait. Yeah, the manager.
Sir Mo.
But yeah, it took me a second. I'm like, why the fuck? Because they have the same like nose to chin as Gary Coleman. I was like, this is fucking weird. And I'm like, that's fucking Coco Beware? No way.
I had no idea it was him. I didn't think it was the Coleman, but
I had a hard arm moment.
That would be impressive since he's been dead over a decade.
That's why he said old footage.
Yeah,
he did.
I didn't go full.
I don't think we need to get some Gary Coleman footage.
Fuck, I don't know who he knew. I didn't really know that much about Junkyard Dog. Like, I just knew he was like big in the South. I didn't give a shit. It was never one of my favorites. This actually episode, like, I should go back and check his shit out.
Do you remember ZCW when he showed up?
See, I don't even remember that.
It was one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Wasn't he driving home from that? Was he going to see his daughter? Like that was it.
That was the event. They didn't address that.
If you see that photo, he's in an ECW shirt.
Oh, I saw that too. I was like, I think it was like he went from that to that.
That was like the first thing of note that he had done in quite a long while. He was just languishing on the indies, which was kind of an abyss at that particular time. So, that was. I remember hearing when he died, and I was bummed out about it because I always liked the guy. And
it was 1 month prior, actually.
Okay.
1998's WrestlePalooza, 1 month prior.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, just I think they downplay even in WWF. Like you go back, like some of his reactions were pretty damn close to Hulk Hogan level. They loved him. He didn't get the big push to that level, but I mean, he had the action figure, he had the cartoon, the video game.
Cartoon.
He was making 6 figures and a quarter at that time.
I do love the fact that he visits children like hospitals and like did like that. Yeah. The only reason to be a fucking celebrity is for fucking shit like that. That rocks.
Yeah. My very first wrestling action figure was the LJ and JYD.
Nice.
That's rad. Yeah. Right on.
Wasn't the one I wanted, but that's the one I came up with. I like JYD.
That was the one that was on the show.
Yeah.
They were
like Barbie.
Your third choice.
Well, he had the chains. He was cool. That's kind of fucked up when you think about that.
Hey, thanks, Ma. Let's go home.
Why'd you give me the Roots action figure?
Oh, that reminds me. On XPW, we thought they were chanting Kunta. What match was that?
They were chanting a Ludark. It was after.
That's right.
After, like whipped Maserati, and we thought they were chanting that, and we just thought we joined in.
Yeah, we did, and then we were corrected by Terex. I think
he did. He was like, "What did you think they were chanting?" I don't know why he continues to come stand by us. And that extra like 4 feet he moved away, like it wasn't gonna hear us.
It's just enough not to be associated with us, but just enough like
to judge.
Chuckle. Yeah.
Yeah, because he used to sit up there with us. Didn't bother Jimmy any.
I wish I was there to hang out with Jimmy. That would have been cool. But hopefully in August. But
hopefully we won't be hanging out with them.
That is true. Well, that sounds.
Let's not speculate.
I know. We're not giving too much.
Let's not do it.
We haven't said anything more, but I'm just saying, hopefully.
So they brought up the Freebirds angle where he gets blinded. That was awesome. I love the moment where he's talking about like Michael Hayes is talking shit to him, and then that fan's like, "Don't worry, dog, I got him." And he pulls out that pistol. And like Junkyard Dog is like, "Do I keep kayfabe?"
Old school. That's fucking awesome.
I want to see the GCW locker room. Just
sorry, Michael, you're a dead man.
Bye, Effie.
How fucked up would that be if he just like unloaded a clip like Michael A? We would have never have had the Doc Hendricks run.
Dude, so we have
he
that.
Never would have called Mark Henry the N-word. None of that would have happened.
We would never had Mark Henry as world champion in that case. I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, fucking Tommy Dreamer. If like either one of those would have happened, or both of them, amazing.
But then if you did the Tommy Dreamer one, they'd be like, "Oh, they were just ripping off the jig."
I think for me,
they even used the worker to do it. What the fuck?
Tommy Dreamer would have been like, because I can just picture just Jim Ross shell shocked. You've got like Heyman's like brains all over the table, and they're just like scraping them off. The show must go on, pal.
On his numb side.
Jim Ross is just like wide-eyed.
Well, one of them will be.
It's like Ivory.
The king starts coming down the ramp.
Like, can you get me another chair, please?
There's actually only been one spot where I think it's close to that, and that was when Mariah pulled out her fucking the stun gun on Sage and the security guy. Oh, that was amazing. Just out of her tits. I still want to see that gun spot in a real thing, not like Brian Pillman, but like in person. Just okay, I'm gonna take the pin here.
I like though, even back then, it's like I'm not gonna take the gun away from this guy. Sorry, Michael.
Cliff Booth. Didn't Paul London say that Hayes asked to watch him and Brian Kendrick take a shower? I believe that. Whether he was serious or not, I don't know, but I believe he would ask that shit.
You've got him in like full, like he's just doing the moonwalk, and it's like now,
yeah, dude, Pat Patterson's like, hey, I dare you to do something. He's like, call me out, motherfucker.
But here's the thing. I mean, why does he already assume that London and Kendrick showered together? I mean, I get it, but
save water.
But that's also old school hazing. There was that stuff where
Michael hazing.
JBL would like ask him to like soap up his back and shit. Like that was like the
JBL's Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame speech is one of the greatest ever given.
And I apologize to no one.
I wonder if he's gonna get a dark side of the ring.
You know what? They can't take him out. Fuck that.
It's kind of like there with him, but the problem with it is like, yeah, actually, that would be a good episode. I know Blue Meanie made peace with them, but I think he would still do it, obviously, if they asked him.
Yeah, I mean, you can still tell the story without burying him. I mean,
could you do a general one on hazing?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like just like
Randy Orton will be in there.
Randy Orton would definitely be in there. He was carrying on the tradition of shitting in bags. Was that chick Rochelle? Never really did anything on the main roster, but she was there, and she didn't know who he was. So then he like shit in her gym bag.
That almost happened this past weekend.
Oh, who is shitting in bags? Or I
can't
guess
say off air, maybe.
Type it in the private chat. I'm kind of curious.
No, you'll see.
Okay, somebody's shitting in the bag. All right.
No, Dan, just let it lie.
I'll let it lie.
Junkyard Dog almost decided not to save someone's life because he wanted to keep kayfabe. Props.
That's commitment.
Oh, my favorite story from this episode is Junkyard Dog essentially like whoring out like the male wrestlers to horny women.
He participated in himself too.
Yeah, but he was getting like $100. It's like, okay, you can go fuck Greg Valentine over there.
That's a businessman. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Good for him.
That's big pimping. He should have got rid of the chains, got that boa going and shit.
Hey, Moolah, am I doing it right?
Big condom.
Wouldn't that be funny? It just stopped because Moolah's like tired of him like moving in on her territory. But I like how shameless Tony Atlas is about the foot stuff. Just like the Junkyard Dog, he doesn't like to fuck. He's gonna play with your feet.
Tony Atlas is very, very entertaining on the interviews. What was the one? Fuck. I lost my fucking train of thought.
I know what you're talking about. Teddy Long, when he's in a gym with Tony Atlas and he starts staring at like this old woman, and he's like. And Teddy Long's just like, Tony, she's 80 years old. Like, I don't want to fuck her. I was just looking at her feet.
Yeah, I like that guy.
They didn't have any of the feet jokes in the young rock for Tony Atlas actually there might have been one reference, but it wasn't like his.
Now that it's over, I can safely go back and watch it, which is bullshit. They should do at least a go home movie.
They got it through a point where I'm happy. Like we got through the Attitude Era, so you'll get to see.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not through it, but we got to it.
I think it would bother me that's all like too warm and fluffy. I've never watched that show, but
it's not.
Are they all doing coke?
Well, no, but
it's still on Peacock, homie.
Yeah. NBC.
Like I can't see like wholesome Iron Sheik.
They work, the drug references are, all that's gone. But honestly, now they're so fucking nice.
I just want him to be like a bad influence on young Rock. It's like he goes to the back, or he goes to school, is like, I will fuck your ass and make you humble.
It's fuck. He's always hanging out with what's his name? Fuck. Harvey Whippleman. I can't think of Bruno.
Oh,
they were BFFs.
Is B. Brian Blair in there? God, if they
Pretty
don't
sure.
if they don't play off that with Iron Sheik, that would be. I will watch that episode.
What did they name the Shawn Michaels character, the black
know,
one, like
they-
Deshaun?
They didn't give him a name. They just said top superstar
Oh, okay.
on his way out.
There was no black top superstar right there.
Not till The Rock took that spot.
Yeah.
And of course, well, that's a good segue because they talk a little bit about that at the time of a black superstar not being able to get that big money spot, and how that lack of the push that he wanted in WWF kind of led him into drugs. I don't know if that was really what led him into it. I think that's just the general.
Well,
That's what the locker room was at that time.
that's true, but being treated like the top star in a smaller, being a big fish in a small pond is a lot different than being part of a cog of the machine. And you go there thinking, oh, you offer me all this money, they're gonna push me, and they did to a degree, but we got Hogan already. We got other top guys that are established, and they are more crowd pleasing than just the mid South.
Well, no, they explained it very well. They had basically every race. You have someone for every color, especially in New York.
Vince Senior.
You know what? I felt stupid for not putting that together. When they simplified it like that, I was like, I am hard R because that is brilliant.
It made sense back then. Ivan Putski for the Polish community, Bruno for the Italian community. Yeah, I mean,
being a mixed race, that shit don't mean shit to me, but I understand
it. Well, you're going back before our childhoods. I never gave a shit. I never quite got that.
It was a big deal. Like when you see someone who looked like you on TV, when everyone else looked like fucking Lucy.
Sure. You're going back there for sure, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think
the worst show, considering it's the only one that had a Latino.
They actually had interracial stuff going on, which is cool. But I love that show.
Yeah, I know you're a fan. That's my mom's all-time favorite show.
I remember when Superman showed up. I popped when I was a kid. The first time I saw that episode. Not my favorite episode, but
beyond that, it kind of segue. Again, the same story, and then there was the drugs, and they kind of depressing at the end. He had to take that Walmart job, and I thought the saddest thing in this episode was just Jake Roberts saying he was happy for him when he died. But that shows you just how bad off Jake Roberts was.
But that also just proves how shitty addiction is, which is why I felt a little bad for Matt Bourne. You're all pussies.
I think
if I can't get addicted, you shouldn't. That's a damn thing.
I think Junkyard Dog was a little more likable than Matt Bourne was.
That's your white guilt talking, sir. No, you probably did like him more because
I just love the fact he didn't give a fuck.
Towards the end, when you fucking brought it out in the locker room, he's just like, no one knows what it is. Buddy, your eyes are fucking red shot. You're shaking. We all know what the fuck that is. Okay, do your thing, bud. That's fucking nuts, dude.
R.I.P. Junkyard Dog. Certainly one of the most charismatic superstars.
Did he hold any belts in the WWE? Even Intercontinental at one point? No, huh?
No.
That is a shame.
Well, I mean, at that point, though, you look at Jake Roberts and how Ted DiBiase did a title run. It blows my mind. World
Hogan, though,
Well, sure, but imagine him taking it off Hogan at that particular point in that huge fucking match they could have had.
One day we should really go over
we should have had $1 Million Man go over Hogan at WrestleMania 4.
Would have been awesome. But stars that never won the big one that you think should have. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Gold Dust for me.
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for sure. But
Rude. Basically most of the Minnesota boys from that era.
I mean, Rick Rude, had things have gone a little different for him, might have.
I don't count that WCW bullshit title.
But
I don't like that belt either. I hate everything. Like,
I put
Well, no, his was
DiBiase
even
up.
more of a bullshit title because didn't he have the international title? It was like when Flair had the NWA title, and they made up a weird title that was kind of in between before they got the.
was
big
it called
belt.
International?
I think it was the international
Because
title.
AEW has that now. That's what Orange Cassidy has.
AEW has too many fucking belts. I can't even remember.
I'm sure they got a European title too.
That's the international one because it went from like, Atlantic to that one. I don't think they have too many belts, dude. I don't.
Orange Cassidy's dumb as shit. I'm sorry. I know there's some kids that like it,
Dude,
but
they fucking
good
love
Lord.
him.
Oh, well, Cliff come with knowledge. He did win a Slammy in 1986
All right, he got something.
for
There you
Greg
go.
Jakes, I believe. And how dare they disrespect the city? That song was a classic. It was no pile driver.
Pile driver. I was
Nah.
gonna say Coco.
Desert Eagle, Desert Eagle.
There you
The last song on that thing, there's a music video. It's so awesome. I can't find it anywhere anymore. I'm gonna have to bust the tape out and convert it so we can watch it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we should do some old school.
Well, me and Pugs were talking about something. We'll talk with you after too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think 2 really good episodes. What do we have coming up next?
Oh, did we talk about how he died in the car accident and then
We might not have. I'm sorry.
Dan didn't. He's like,
I think we glossed over his fucking big death.
we kind of touched. It's all right. We skipped his causes on the other one.
Okay.
So yes, yeah, it was one of those,
But he got to see his daughter at least one last time. He didn't make the graduation, but he got there on the day. So it could have been way worse. He could have died on the way there. That would have sucked extra hard, but still sucks. Cool dude. Has a good
got his
legacy.
ECW shirt, got his ECW mansion appearance.
It's just too bad because, like, I think now, like, had he survived, he would, he'd be treated like a fucking king again. So.
Well, if he could have got over those addictions.
Yes.
I think the time had passed for him as a worker because he
yeah, but you can come out like the Iron Sheik, all like. Everyone used to boo the shit out of him. Now he's like, yeah, he's fucking here. He's a badass. He's all these people are jabronis.
And then he has to win the Rumbles because he can't get through.
That was one of the best train wrecks I've ever seen.
I wish they did the gimmick battle royal every 10 years. We're due for another one.
Yeah.
If you would be willing to open it up, because I would like to see a return of the gimmick battle royal. You don't have to have it on the pay-per-view. That's actually the perfect for like a warm-up. Like have that as your dark match.
The kickoff?
Kickoff, yeah. Do a gimmick battle royal. You could, if you opened it up, you could have like Disco Inferno. Never made a WWE appearance for whatever reason. Or he
maybe because he's an asshole.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't.
I haven't really heard any good things about him. I like him. Like I think he works cool. I like his fucking gimmick. But like anytime someone brings him up, I've never heard a good story. I was he's kind of a jerk.
His covers of the Conan songs are classics.
Yeah, you bring him in. I'd love to see Beaver cleavage.
Wow.
I don't think
and then you get Headbanger Mosh later too, or whichever he was.
Gets eliminated and comes
Erwin
back.
White, that was his name, right?
Kerwin White. No, that's
Kerwin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
That
I know, but that
pop harder than anyone. He loved that character. He's still mad at Chris Benoit.
Oh no! Here's what you do. Kerwin White comes out, but he's got like a MAGA hat on.
No, he comes out with a Black Lives Matter hat. He's like, what happened to Kerwin?
That's his polo shirt.
We could do a shitty. Well, I shouldn't say shitty because some of them were actually a blast, but we could do like a bad gimmick show sometime. That might be fun. But on that note,
before you wrap us up, Dan, you're gonna tell. Don't you want to put over the podcast fights gimmick we're trying to do?
We're trying to put together a fight card.
Who's your opponent, Dan Kruger?
No, he's a part of Flesh Wound. That makes no sense.
I already said. If we can get Cool Duder to accept Dan's challenge, we're gonna make that happen.
Damn.
You're gonna have to make your video, Dan. You're gonna have to challenge him.
Speaking of Kruger, he's got a big weekend coming up. I know. taking on Judge Joe Dredd.
And Lazarus, and the other one I can't remember.
And
Stone.
Yeah, I should know the other
something
two.
Stone. It doesn't matter.
The
Fucking
two guys
Kruger's
that are
gonna
gonna
win.
get broken in half in the first minute of that match.
All of them. I love Judge Joe Dredd. Well, I do love Judge Joe Dredd, but Kruger is a brother of mine, and he's going down.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Work over that back after
and
fuck yeah.
And our Patreon should be excited. You'll get to see it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Streaming on Patreon.
Yeah, you can go check out Kruger's last match. The final edits on Patreon now too.
Sweet. So on that note, guys, we are going to be live tomorrow for the Severance sale. So come hang out with us. We'll, won't just be the sale. Just hang out, do some Q&A.
Cliff
stuff.
Booth is challenging you, Dan. Cliff Booth, come at Dan. Come at me, Dan. If you win, you get Perusa. If I win, you can have Perusa. Damn. I was going to say, if you can provide proof that you have Perusa, I would definitely take that. Some random fucking skeleton prop. Here you go.
Damn.
$20 coked in.
Yeah.
Dan will be able to tell the difference.
Jeez, she makes candles. Todd.
Just put her in a Return to Oz shirt.
To cook.
Yes, of course she does. Of course she does.
Yeah, you got
candles.
God.
They come with their own spoons.
No, they'll stay still because the hand gets shaky after a while.
Jesus. But yes, we will be live tomorrow. Come hang out with us. It should be a good time. The sales shows are always fun. And how many surprises do we have tomorrow left? Oh, they announced everything. Okay.
They don't do surprises, no.
Yeah, I was trying to do the count. Well, actually, I kind of like that.
The surprises, you guys can't jump on the sale until like 5 minutes after me because I got to order something first.
It is my fucking goal now.
Dan, you don't even make a difference to me. I don't give a shit.
To get that.
Because you know what? $89. You're gonna. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. That one's gonna sell it first. I'm going for the big one.
But I'm confused. 89 has the Spinell thing.
There's only $700 total, and they're split up between the two packages.
Okay, but you get one for the 89.
Okay, so I don't understand what I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about it selling out because the big package always takes forever.
Okay, all right. Well,
so suck a dick, Dan.
That small package is going to go first though, because the Dans are going to want that one. So have at it.
What do you get that you don't get?
You know what? We're gonna go over all of this tomorrow in that first hour. I already have it all ready to go, and we'll
tune in as Todd bullies me into spending $350.
Oh no, I don't care, Dan. I don't give a shit.
He's gonna bully you with or without that. Only because it's fun.
I don't give a shit. All I give a shit is about getting that. And there's a Nightmare novelization.
That I'll get. The books usually don't sell out. They're still
that one I think you can buy separately. That's the thing. The Joe doll is only in the packages.
Yeah.
So I think the pin you can buy out of the package, but you don't care about the pin.
It's funny because I was like just writing down what I was going to get before they really announced a whole lot. And I was like, God damn, this is one that I kind of want every fucking pre-order.
You know what? I agree. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but they killed it over. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. They actually have a package though, Dan, if you don't want the doll, that you can get everything minus all the swag for a cheaper price. I think it's like $160. No, it's probably more than that. But yeah, there is a lower but then you cannot get the doll.
Is that $350 all 8 releases?
It's everything, all the swag, all this and that shirt.
Okay. Well, that's I'll have to check. So tune in tomorrow. Spend some money with us. I believe the full moon stuff starts in the next half hour.
I thought
maybe it's Cali time.
No, I thought. Was it midnight? I thought it was 12 noon.
You could be right. I don't know. I know it's
I'm 99% it's 12 noon because they're the same day basically. They go on sale.
All right.
So you're fine.
Nightmare, 4K, last horror film, 4K. I mean, this is one hell of a package. And if you're not familiar with those movies, we can certainly talk about them tomorrow night because, yeah, this is awesome. So on that note, guys, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1, and we really appreciate you. And as well, join our Discord. Our Discord's very active. You learn a lot about merchandise. I will say that for like our Discord, if there's like some sale or some limited edition thing, somebody is in there posting about it. So Kruger did a really good job on our Discord. It's very active and cool.
And
Kruger
informative.
does a great job. Not did. He still.
Yeah, he created it. Yes.
Well, he still does
Use the
more
proper,
than just. Yes.
Wording, sir.
Absolutely.
Respect the pronouns.
I respect the pronouns. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Now you're just insulting him.
No, I'm not comparing him to Bret the Hitman Hart. What the fuck?
Not a Bret guy.
Damn. All right. So on that,
probably somewhere writing about Goldberg right now.
I do love that though. How's your day going, Brett? Goldberg's an asshole.
On that note, guys, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Severance sale.
Good evening.
I'll see you in Disneyland.